Hey y'all, hi. So today I'm coming to you with not a stitch on my face. I'm going to be trying new makeup and also just kind of getting myself together because most of what I have to try is from Charlotte Tilbury, a brand that I have kind of a long and storied emotional relationship with, but from which I haven't actually tried that many products, as it turns out. Unexpectedly, last week, a PR package from Charlotte Tilbury came in the mail. I don't even know how Charlotte got my address, but I'm not mad at it because it's giving me a chance to kind of wade into this brand, this iconic brand that's been around for a really long time and that I don't really know that well. It's like I have opinions, but I don't have facts, you know what I mean? But it's mostly color cosmetics, and because I don't have anything on my face, I'm also gonna be doing like basic brows, basic base, using some other non-Charlotte Tilbury products that are the things that I've been using lately. So it's sort of a catch-all. Mostly I just need to go from this to something that's not this, and I've selected things with which to do that I hope will make for an entertaining and informative video. If this happens to be your first time to my channel, then welcome. My name is Hannah. I make videos about fashion and beauty. I love beautiful things, but in the past I've struggled with overspending on beautiful things, so I always try to stay grounded in reality and not promote overspending while still enjoying myself and acknowledging that beautiful things can add joy to one's life. So if that sounds good, I hope you'll subscribe. And now let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. Where even to start? I think I'm just going to quickly do my brows, still using the Kimiko products. This one on top is the gel, and underneath is the delicate little pencil. Especially as the dye fades from my brows, I find these more and more useful. The pencil for filling in a little bit. The gel is incredibly sturdy and strong hold. I've just been happy with these the whole time I've been using them. So I did that thing that I talked about in my video about minimalist makeup tricks that I use all the time, where I use the pencil primarily, in this case almost exclusively, to define the line underneath the brow without worrying about defining the top or the front edge or filling in too much, just defining the line underneath, setting in place with the gel and using the gel to kind of move the hairs around a little. I feel like it's the way to get a clean shape with the least amount of fuss and the least amount of stress and the least amount of perfection and kind of worrying about making them all symmetrical. And it ends up looking both clean and defined and also very natural. While I was doing that, my hair was really in my way, so I'm gonna just pin these little bits back for a little bit. By the way, I've talked about them before, but I constantly get questions. These bobby pins that I use kind of as all-purpose hair pins, they're just regular oversized bobby pins. They're marketed as roller pins. And these ones are from Goody. They're really cheap. I mean, they're just bobby pins, so you can get like a huge pack of them for a couple of dollars. And I find them really useful for holding thick hair, but also for keeping my bangs from popping out when I'm trying to do a more sleek ponytail because they actually look kind of cute, even though they're so basic. I'll link them below. All right, I'm gonna quickly do what I've been doing for the past several weeks on my face, and then we'll get into playing with the fun stuff. Here's what I've been doing. Auric Glow Lust in the shade Morganite. I've basically been priming with this, like using it as a primer. So one pump and distributing it mostly on my cheeks, but then nose, forehead, Cupid's bow, chin, and there's some left over. I mean, I'm basically priming my whole face with this. It's great as a primer because it's great for the skin, feels good on the skin, is very sturdy. It's not sort of like slidey and serumy and slips away or has things like slipping and sliding on top of it. And it has a little bit of coverage. And because it's such a great pale color, Morganite, it makes me feel like I don't have to apply as much coverage makeup, which that's what I'm always trying to do. Get to that place of even skin without applying too much coverage makeup. And in that same vein, in pursuit of that same thing, green color corrector, the one from Givenchy, can't stop using it. And look at it, those two products together, both of them basically sheer, neither one of them coverage. Together, they've gotten me so far down the path where I'm trying to go, especially because I'm not that obsessed with perfection these days with complexion, more just trying to get a glowy, bright skin tone where the redness is canceled out and there isn't too much contrast between my skin and my scars and blemishes. I mean, we're almost all the way there. And from here, it takes very little of an actual heavy-duty coverage product to finish the task. I've been mixing these two Natasha Denona concealers, RN1 and Y1. It's not ideal to be mixing, I feel, but I just can't get enough of the finish of this concealer, especially for camera, especially for being on camera, the way that it takes the light. When I filmed that Natasha Denona review, I was impressed by the way that it was looking, but it wasn't until I reviewed the footage, it wasn't until I was editing that I was like, whoa, I need to figure out a way to like have a concoction of colors that works for me with that formula because it's spectacular, especially with a sponge. But look, I've just put the tiniest bit on and I'm not going to spread it around that much. I'm just using it to make these parts of my face, these like high points of my face, a little bit more seamless. And on the sides, using just Y1, which is the darker yellower one, to cover the scars. I think I'm going to cover this little broken blood vessel down here too, or at least soften the look of it. You know, I don't even feel like spot concealing today. I just don't mind it, you know? If I spot concealed, those little dots would go away and like blend into my face, but it's like sometimes having some blemishes present or having some unevenness of the skin tone, a little bit of blue in the under eye area, those are the things that make your skin look real and help buffer you from that look of having like a full face painted on, you know? So I'm gonna leave it and I'm just gonna powder a tiny bit. And actually, because I'm using this NARS powder, which is technically foundation, like it has some coverage, I'm doing this to take down the shine and on parts of my face where I primed with Glow Lust, but I don't necessarily want it to be as shiny as the other parts, but it's also having the effect of adding a little bit of coverage. There, and that's basically the skin that I've been sporting most days for a couple of weeks, down to the exact products. Like that is exactly what I've been doing. I just showed you basically my go-to base makeup routine. The Natasha Denona concealer is kind of heavy duty, but it's just using a little bit of it. It all comes together very quickly and I'm always so happy with the results, and it never cakes or creases or makes me feel like I'm wearing heavy makeup over the course of the day, especially when I use that little amount. So here's the thing. Yesterday, I filmed the Brigitte Bardot light minimalist smoky eye makeup video tutorial thing. That was the first time that I dipped my toe into kind of a dramatic eye look in a while. Like that was the first time I really emphasized the eyes with my makeup in kind of a long time. I've been doing some pretty dramatic looks, but they've been very lip centric. I've been doing a lot of light looks and I really liked it. I want more. I want to wear eye makeup today as well and not just a wash of golden sparkle on the lid or something. I want to try focusing on the eyes, which is good because I have kind of a selection of Charlotte Tilbury makeup for the eyes. This is Exaggerize Bigger, Brighter Eyes filter. I don't know if this even has a shade or if it's just called Exaggerize. Really pretty, but this is more like the minimalist eye look, and that's not what I'm after today. Here is the Pillow Talk Quad. Looks the same. Looks the same, Charlotte, although I guess it's a little less mauve. The packaging says, I have decoded the secret to mesmerizing eyes in an easy-to-use application ritual. Also very pretty. Of the two, the one that leans a little more mauve is more my style. I like those taupes, you know what I mean? So I can see myself using Exaggerize, the first one that I showed you, on a day-to-day basis, more than I would use the Pillow Talk one. Speaking of the day-to-day basis, here's something, an iconic, aged product from Charlotte Tilbury that I had never tried. It is the Eyes to Mesmerize cream in the shade Champagne, and I have been using this and I really, really like it because it's really shiny. I mean, look at that. And I love a super shiny lid. I get a wet look lid with this, but because it's a little bit deeper on me, right? It's got a little bit of color on me, and because it blends out seamlessly, it's got that moussey blend that then sets down. It's the perfect depth creator that still allows me to retain kind of a no makeup look on my lids. I'm surprised by how much I've enjoyed it. But again, I kind of want to go for drama today. And luckily, this was also in the package. It's really pretty. I think as these have come out, these instant eye palettes, and I've talked about them in new makeup, I've always said, like, they're pretty. To me, this has more to offer than just pillow talk upon pillow talk situation. This is Smoky Eyes Are Forever. Those are a lot of options, and there's color, and the sparkly ones are really sparkly. So I think I want to try using this. I still want it to feel wearable. I still want it to have that sort of undone sultriness that I was after with the Brigitte Bardot look. So I'm not going to go overboard. I'm not going to do too much. And I might incorporate this color Chameleon. This is also like an eyeshadow stick thing. It says Champagne Diamonds for blue eyes, which I don't have, but I might find a way to use it. I'm going to zoom you in so you can really see. I know there are instructions on this, like put this one here, put this one here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I want. So I'm going into this olivey bronze, of course. I'm going to lay down a base of that and see how things are looking. It's blending out pretty well. When Simbri was here, she said that she thought that the formula of these big palettes wasn't as good as the formula of the quads. I don't really have context, but I am not struggling with it so far. Putting a little on my lower lash line too. And again, really rejecting perfection here, rejecting fussiness. I actually feel like I'm applying some of this makeup on top of the dregs of the look from yesterday that I couldn't quite get every little bit off of, or I didn't realize after I washed my face that I hadn't gotten every little bit off. This is a really pretty color though. Makes me want to paint it on a little bit deeper. And again, I'm using this Rephr 02 brush, which is just endlessly useful. It's like a paddle shape that's sort of flat and domed. Side to side along its thin edge, you can use it to, for example, buff things out on the lower lash line. Then the paddle can be used, broad side of it can be used to apply makeup in bigger swaths. So that's what I'm doing up in the outer corner. There's a spot right there. I think that that's on my skin. Oh, I think that's because I plucked brow hair or two before I started this. I might have to cover it with sparkle. Even though it seems like a less dramatic color than the taupe, the sort of cool tone taupe that I used yesterday for the Brigitte Bardot look, I think this is actually building to be a little bit of a darker color than that. I'm kind of getting like a darker base than I had even yesterday, which is good because this is going to be a light color instead of the black that I used to line my eyes for that look. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, this is like a really light color, not really a liner. It's a much lighter color than the shadow. So that's interesting, the way that it's brightened around the edges, that champagne color. It hasn't really increased the drama. If anything, it's almost like it's made it more wearable. It's interesting. Okay, I need to do some sort of sparkly topper. So I'm gonna get this one right here from the Love Eyes section. Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it sort of just brushing it on top. And then I'm just gonna tuck a little bit more of the original kind of olive bronze into the outer corner here to reinforce depth there because it's gotten covered up by those 2 layers of sparkle that I put on. I like it. I like this. I didn't have any trouble with the shadows. I would say they're maybe a little bit on the dry side, but I don't mean that as a drawback, like they're on the dry side, which isn't good. I just mean that in the spectrum of super serviceable, well-formulated eyeshadows that work, there are creamier ones and there are drier ones, and these are the drier ones, at least the ones that I used. But it didn't hold me back at all. I just went in like brushes flying and I was like, I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try this, not knowing anything about the formulas, not knowing how the colors would work, and they did everything that I was trying to make them do. And so to me, that's like a really successful first impression. There is one product from this package from Charlotte Tilbury that I opened immediately and tested as soon as I saw it, as soon as I opened the package, and I have not been able to stop thinking about, honestly. I mean, what I meant to say was I haven't been able to stop using it. I've used it a lot since then, but I also kind of haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I'm so into this. I didn't even know this existed. And I did feature this in my Instagram stories. So if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen it. The imagery over there was really good and close up and in natural sunlight. So I'll try to remember to link that if I can. Push Up Lashes in the shade Pillow Talk. Look at that color. It's like a reddish brown. It's like a burgundy brown. And I think because it's trying to be Pillow Talk, which is pink, you know, it's lighter than a lot of brown mascaras in color. I've been talking for decades about this, like looking for brown mascara that isn't just so dark brown that it just looks black, where you know that it's not as dark as an actual black mascara, but it just registers the same way. A brown mascara that actually registers as a lighter color. And this not only registers as a lighter color, but also has a little bit of red in it, which on my coloring where there's green in my eyes, the red really makes the green stand out. It makes my eyes look really green because red and green are opposite on the color wheel. And I'm curious what it'll do with this eye look because there's some green in the shadow as well. So right now it's like color of my eyes, the color of the shadow, the brown dress, the color of my hair, it's all kind of like bronzy together. And I'm curious to know if this red toned brown mascara will make the green tones pop. Okay, I stuck the wand in this eye, so it's gotten a little watery on that side. It'll calm down in a second. Look at the color. I feel like it has made my eyes look greener than they are. Like it's made them look like they're this sort of dark jade color, which isn't how they usually look, and it's definitely not how they looked before I applied this. I absolutely love it. I love wearing it too on days when I'm not wearing eye makeup or other makeup. I mean, it just looks amazing on its own. I'm not the biggest fan of the applicator. It's not my favorite kind of effective brush of all time, but it is effective, especially at volumizing. So the paddle side, like the flat paddle side, has a lot of product on it, and you can use it to sort of apply a sheath of mascara, like a big swipe to your lashes, and then immediately use the little spiky bristles to brush it through, make them more separated. You can see it. It's pretty dramatic, very effective. It's easy to use. It's just, I prefer brushes that have longer bristles in general. But what a great eye look. I think of Charlotte Tilbury and I think Pillow Talk, Pillow Talk, Pillow Talk. Everything is pink, magic cream, ta-da. But this is like easy, subtle, glamorous, wearable editorial, day to night. Like it's just minimal but interesting. Like it's everything that I love. So it's good to know that she can take us there. The other most used product of the bunch of the things that came in that Charlotte Tilbury box for me is this, the Matte Beauty Blush Wand, also in Pillow Talk. And I applied this in that Bridget Bardot video. They also sent another blush product, which is this, the famous Cheek to Chic, also in the shade Pillow Talk. I kind of want to apply this today because I've tried it once or twice and I really liked it, but it was like at night when I was doing makeup playtime and it was chaotic and there wasn't super good light. I kind of want to see how it looks. I know that I love this. I've already applied it on camera and I'm sure that I will be again because it's the kind of thing I just keep reaching for it all the time. I have something to say about the shade Pillow Talk, but I'm going to wait until the end and also wait until I see how it goes with this powder blush. So I think the idea is like outer edge, more the blush. Yeah, this is what I remember from Makeup Playtime. It's subtler than I had feared it would be. Well, I said that, but then I kind of put too much on this side. All right, now I'm trying to go into the middle and get that paler highlighting shade. Well, that's more of a blush look than I was anticipating, and curiously, it's a way heavier look than I've been ending up with this, with the wand. I actually kind of want to dampen it, tamp it down a little. And I even feel like the shine isn't doing the most favors to like the maybe slightly creasy shape of my cheek there, my under eye area. Yeah, I'm not feeling as fond of that as I thought that I was the couple times that I tested it. I think for me, between the two of these, it's definitely the Matte Beauty Blush Wand. Is that what it is? Yeah, Matte Beauty Blush Wand. Easy liquid blush. I've just found it to go with everything, to be seamless, to be buildable, which to me means that if I just put one layer on, it's not too bright and strong, and it can actually be pretty subtle. So for cheeks, that would have been my pick, but I think we got this to a workable place. This is, I think, the newest release from Charlotte Tilbury, and maybe was the occasion for this PR package, this Air Blur Lip. I mean, it's a soft matte lip cream. It's an M Cosmetic Infinite Lip Cloud. You know, it's the Charlotte Tilbury version of that. I have tried it, and it is actually the product that has helped me fully understand my relationship with the shade Pillow Talk, which I had never tried in any product ever before now. So that's the lip on. I'm going to talk about the shade Pillow Talk because that was what I was just leading into across the board. And then I'll talk about the formula of this lip product specifically. But I'm going to zoom you back out a little bit for this kind of final roundup now that the application of the makeup is over. So Pillow Talk, the iconic shade. First things first, it's a little bit different in every product. Like Pillow Talk just means pink. Charlotte Tilbury does like a mid-toned pinky mauve type of thing because it's not as though this is exactly the same color as the Pillow Talk Cheek Liquid Matte Blush or the Pillow Talk Cheek Powder Blush. But if this is what Pillow Talk looks like on the lips, to me, it's a bit too orange of a pink. It's got that sort of vibrant sunset pink leaning into orange shade that for me, for my complexion, tends to kind of detract, I feel, from everything else. What I'm wearing, other makeup that's on my face. I feel like my eyes looked so much better before I had this color on. Now, again, it might just be the Air Matte whatever blur thing. It surprises me that it's so orange, and they did send a different lip product. It's like this gloss, very pigmented gloss product, also in Pillow Talk, that I actually kind of like wearing. And yeah, those look different to me. Those look really different to me. Yeah, the one that I'm wearing right now has that sort of strong orange in it. And this other product, which is on top there, I mean, they're very similar, but it's just a little softer. This is just like too harsh and bright and orange of a pink for me. But I like it on the cheeks. And I think that in general, Pillow Talk isn't the worst color for me for cheeks. But overall, what I've learned from this is that for me, it's not the like suits everybody, perfect neutral pink pink shade that it's cracked up to be. I would much rather have a redder, like rose from Charlotte Tilbury in any product, cheek or lips, or a paler pink or something more neutral. I think that in her offerings in general, she does those sort of off reds really beautifully, and I would have much preferred it if that had been the color theme of this package, Walk of Shame or Walk of No Shame, if that had been the color theme instead of Pillow Talk. But I'm glad that I got to know it a little bit because it's such a reference point in the beauty industry. I'm actually going to take this off and apply the other product. I mean, an ever so slightly better color for me, but still not way better. I like this product better though because it's much sturdier, which brings me to the formula of the Air Blur lip product. This, and I can't tell what it is from the packaging. It says Pillow Talk on it, but it doesn't have like the name of it. Of course, I'll find out and I'll link it. It's like a cross between a lipstick and a gloss, and it feels really sturdy. Like the pigment is locked in. It's not going to bleed. It's not going to drift. Not going to get on my teeth. Even though it's shiny, it feels like it's there to stay. And in my experience, it is there to stay because I actually have worn this quite a bit. Even though it's shiny and the Air Blur is matte, the Air Blur feels a lot less stable. And it just doesn't feel luxury to me. And it might be because I've encountered so many products that are like that. Some of them from the drugstore, others at drugstore prices. K-Beauty in particular does a soft matte lip cream style product so well. The 3CE velvet lip thing, I can't remember what the full name of it is, but I'll link it, is exactly like this. Like that is exactly what this is. And in my experience, products like this don't have that much longevity. They're beautiful and it's lovely to get that blurred edge, but they just don't have that much longevity. That's true of the NYX version, of the 3CE version. Maybe not as true of the M Cosmetics version. I think that one maybe is the longest lasting one I've ever tried, but I just don't feel like I can run out the door and like live my life in this without checking on it. It just feels a little bit like it's gonna wear away. Whereas this feels like really sturdy makeup. And you know, I didn't end up liking the formula of the Matte Revolution lipsticks either. I love the colors so much, and for years on this channel at the beginning, I was like lusting after various shades of Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, getting samples, getting a couple as gifts, obsessed with them, always referencing them. And then I eventually got to the point where I realized that I fetishized them, but I rarely wore them because of that extremely slippy silicone-y feel that made me feel like they were just not gonna last on my lips, and they didn't really last on my lips. I didn't feel like I was doing a thing where I was like pushing the pigment into my lips and staining my lips with it. It felt slick and light and kind of kids makeup-y, like the formula to me, kind of just like hard to really color in the lips with. And I was just always passing over them, and I eventually decluttered all of them. And I think that my dislike of that formula was one of the things I talked about in an old video about my unpopular makeup opinions. So I feel exactly the same way about this blur thing. I like the formula of this lip product, even though I don't like the color, but my takeaway, my final thoughts, having explored all of this Charlotte Tilbury makeup, is that it's the eyes that have it. I like so much of what came in this package for the eyes. The Eyes to Mesmerise cream, the stick thing, yeah, the color Chameleon. These are like old products, like old Charlotte Tilbury products, the backbone of the brand. They're really good. I just feel like it all went on effortlessly, and I love the way my eyes ended up looking. I've always been so attracted to the Charlotte Tilbury lip products and kind of been through the ringer with them. But now, having tried a couple of these products, it's the eye makeup that I'm the most excited about. And of course, the complexion, the cheek stuff, especially these liquid wand things. I was obsessed with the Beauty Spotlight wand before TikTok even existed. Like, I really got to know that product, used it up, talked a lot about it on YouTube before it trended. I feel like this is a worthy successor. It makes me want to get more colors in this, and it makes me want to get Beauty Spotlight wand again. I just really like this delivery mechanism for a cheek product, and I really, really like the cheek formulas. So to me, that's it. Eye products and the wands, the beauty wands from Charlotte Tilbury. In my opinion, with what I want for makeup, that's where the brand really shines. And lips, I don't know. A lip has yet to really impress me. A Charlotte Tilbury lip product has yet to really impress me on all counts. We'll see. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks, Charlotte Tilbury, for randomly sending me a whole bunch of Pillow Talk stuff so I could at least least explore, so I could make this video. The mascara though, that's the one pillow talk thing that is a real serve. I forgot to say that. If we're doing a roundup, if we're doing takeaways, that's the one. Like that's the one that I would buy without a moment's hesitation. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it, and that's exciting. And that's it. As always, thanks for commenting on my videos, clicking like on my videos. Thanks for being subscribed if you're subscribed. And I hope that you are taking extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.